Hey, Fernando Zamora here, and today I am going to show you a little bit about how to use the REPL. The REPL is REPL, and it stands for Read, Evaluate, Process, Loop. And basically, what you have for Python is you have the REPL, and a lot of programming languages, I believe, Node has it for JavaScript, and of course, Python has it. I believe Ruby has something similar. So this is the kind of thing that you can use the REPL for programming. First thing you do to get into the REPL, if you've already installed Python, if you haven't, you can watch one of the other videos on how to install it. So first thing you do is you start Python. The Python REPL, you just type Python. If you already have it installed, you have the REPL. Now, to use the REPL, it's very simple. You use it just like you would anything else. So for example, if you want to use the REPL and you want to this is something really simple. For example, let's just start really simple. Let's say, for example, x equals 10, y equals 11, and then you can say z equals x plus y, and then you can do print z. Okay, and it shows you the result. So it's 10 plus 11 equals 21. Now, for example, you can also do z like that, and it'll automatically print it out. This actually won't work. Like if you just type z in your code in Python in a file, it's not going to output anything. You actually have to do print. Now, the REPL will allow you to do just about anything that you can do with Python. For example, you can actually define functions. So for example, let's define, let's say, multiply. So we're defining a function, and you have to follow the same syntax rules. So you have to tab to get your spacing right, because indentation is how Python works. So you gotta have the level of indentation if we're in a function. You have to do that. So we can say, for example, result equals x times y, and then same thing, return result. And that is our function. And we have to tab twice. The first time it's still in the function, and then when we tab, then we've actually defined it. So now what we can do, we can say, for example, x equals multiply. We'll call it function. So we'll say 10 times 20. And we can say x, or we can say print x, right? And you can see that it works. So you can do this. Now you don't want to do a lot of this on the command line, because honestly, if you make a mistake, you'll have to do it over again, or that kind of thing. So you may want to try out certain things in the command line. It's nice sometimes if you want to test out certain things and all of that. Like for example, you can do help, on a certain type, help multiply. And it doesn't give us much because I didn't actually produce any help documentation for multiply, so it kind of just shows us that. But you can do a lot of things on the command line. For example, you might say, like for example, the hash library. You might say help hash lib, which is one of the modules in Python. Interesting. Oh, okay, that is because I have to import it first. Hash lib. If I import it, then I can say help hash lib, and it'll give me the help, and you can see the help, and now you can scroll through that, and it gives me all the help on hash lib. So it's useful for certain things, and of course you just hit enter and you can see the rest of the help and gives you all the information. And you can do this for any of the types in Python. Now that's one way of using the REPL. And sometimes, you don't always have a computer. You may actually have a tablet or something, even though sometimes the web doesn't work the same way on desktops or laptops and tablets. But another option, if you really need to write some programming, and I did some programming on the way here from Virginia. I was on a plane and I was doing some programming. You can actually use something called Pythonista on the iPad. Pythonista, you can write just about anything, and you can write files, create files, and all of that. But sometimes maybe you're on someone else's computer and you don't want to install, you know, Python. So, but you still want to play around with Python. So what do? I will show you. What you do is you go to a website called REPL.it. So you go to REPL.it, and now REPL.it is your online REPL, and not only is it a REPL, but you can actually do more things. So for example, there's different languages and different versions of even Python. You have Python 3 here, and if you go down to let's see, Classic, for example, you might find, that's not it. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You have JavaScript if you feel like doing JavaScript. I mean, you have a lot of options for REPL.it. You have also the Python. I believe that might be 2.0. At any rate, so let's say that we decide to do some Python programming. And in this case, your REPL is over here on the right hand side, and your actual, it's almost like a file, and you can save it. If you log in, you can actually save your script. So for example, let's say that we wanted to do the same thing that we did earlier, and we say multiply. And we'll just come with the return x times y. And we say print multiply 10 times 5, and that should work. So it should print out the number 50, and it does. So now we can actually save this. We can do some more experiments. For example, let's say that we import the hash lib, and we want to hash passwords. So let's say, for example, that we want to do a hash. Let's say def hash my password. This is a hash phrase or something. Phrase. And we say, let's see, m equals hash lib md5. Let's do SHA-256 is a better hash. And then we say m dot update. We're going to pass it to string, which is phrase. But something interesting, you have to actually encode them because it doesn't understand strings directly, and I'm not sure why, because the examples online say they do, but apparently we have to encode it, and we just encode it to UTF-8. And then we return the mx digest. Cover. I believe that's the right. So now let's say, for example, that we say string hash phrase my password. Let's run it, and we should see 50, and then the hash password. Ooh, it didn't like something. Syntax error in the file while parsing. Oh, okay. So we didn't. Oh, okay. What happened to our phrase? Okay. That was fine. That was fine. Okay, here we go. We're missing a parenthesis here. We run it, and see, this is the kind of thing that if you're using the REPL, you would have to go back and fix all of this. So this is another way that you can go online and you can just use the REPL and you can code away. Even on someone else's machine, just go to REPL.it, log in, write your code, you can save it. You're going to say, for example, save this. It might ask us to log in. And usually, I don't trust the web sometimes, so I'll copy it, just keep it on the clipboard. I'll log in, and then it tells me, ooh, it didn't save it. So good thing, because now I go back to languages. I go back to Python 3. Oh, it's there. Save it, and now it's saved. So run it, and there you are. There's another way you can get your programming fixed. Thanks for watching.